let me turn to the product for a moment because they're going to talk about a new product that I think is one of the most important products that BodyWise has ever introduced, and that's the new ReShape product. I mean, we were just Steve and Debbie and I and John Paul were just joking a little bit that it's a target-rich environment. I mean, when you think about how many people are spending $1,000 a month using these self-injectables, Ozempic and Manjaro, I guess is another one, and maybe there's a third. But those are $1,000 a month. And here we've got a great product with the same kind of great results, weight loss. And I think round numbers, let's just say it's 1,000% less. I mean, I didn't do the math correctly, but it's significantly less expensive, obviously, with our product. So we're going to hear from Steve and Debbie about how to maximize your income and how to get great results for other people. And frankly, you're doing a great service, I think, to them because so many people really want to lose weight, and it ain't that easy. I mean, we're fed things, and sometimes we don't take the kind of time we should for our exercise, and we're not having the best diet, and all of a sudden, you've added 20 or 30 or 40 pounds, and you go, what? Anyway, let me turn it over to Steve because enough of my conversation. We want to hear about how you do it and what the results have been. And
Thanks, Bill, and I appreciate those nice, kind comments. You mentioned the fact that you just look around and you see the folks that can certainly use our supplements and our product. Well, the market minimal, just as a minimum, is a $2 billion a year industry just on weight loss supplements.
yeah,
Supplements alone, $2 billion per year. So it's certainly nice being in a position that we are in right now. We've got a state-of-the-art system, weight management system. The ReShape system is what we call it, that actually gets the job done. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little later. But what I want to do, and you mentioned I've been around for quite a while. Well, I started in November of 1989, and fortunately, Debbie joined us in 1992. So both of us are over 30 years. I switched from part-time to full-time 4 years after I got started. Debbie accomplished that all part-time. Never went full-time BodyWise. Was too busy writing articles, traveling the world, beating everybody half her age running. I mean, you name it, she was doing it, and still ended up making part-time only over $1 million, which says something about the compensation plan and also says something about Debbie. Because she's a big-time athlete, and you get a dog, a dog with a bone. You get a hold of it, and you're pretty tenacious, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's how this thing works. But let's talk about a little bit of BodyWise history, because when I first started BodyWise, we had one kit. It was called the Advanced Nutritional System Kit. It was backbone nutrition, weight management, and heart health. That's really what it was all about, with low-fat eating focused on it, with a video and an audio. And when I first started with BodyWise, they were generating around $40,000 to $50,000 in sales per month. Well, as time went on, I was able to enjoy, be involved with, and witness amazing growth. We went from a little over 40 to 50,000 a month, over 5 million a month in sales, and right around 5 years, maybe just a little bit longer than that. I don't have the exact dates, but it's close enough. All the time, BodyWise was still generating a lot of that income, a ton of it, on weight management and weight loss. So pretty significant market, obviously, and it's grown because there's still a lot of people out there looking to lose size and do it in a healthy manner, as opposed to maybe something that's not so healthy, I guess is probably the best and nicest way to put it. People talk about, in this world, rarely does lightning strike twice. And Debbie and I have both witnessed, I believe, coming full circle in BodyWise. We are now back in the weight management focus, along with all the other compounds we have for immunity, et cetera. But we're back. And I can't think of a better time to do it. I mean, we have a system that works. We have products that are amazing. And I can't think of a better time, as I mentioned. And Debbie, I'd love for you to kind of share your perspective on this because you've witnessed what I've witnessed. I got in there a little bit earlier than you, but you watched what happened when a lot of people started losing weight, and it kind of went crazy. I can hardly wait to hear your perspective and what you observed in that time.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be on the call. Like you said, I was introduced to BodyWise in 1992. That was 32 years ago. And I was introduced by my physician brother who lived in California. And he contacted me and said, hey, I'm on this program. It's called BodyWise. I'm losing weight. My cholesterol is better. I've improved my general health profile. And he was very successful with the products. So he contacted me, and he also said that his nurses thinks he's had a personality transplant. And so I don't know if the products change one's personality, but he was much nicer to everybody. The thing is, I was a very active physical education teacher and coach, and I didn't need to lose weight. But I certainly knew that I needed a good science-based supplement. We were doing a one-a-day vitamin or something. And so as I looked at BodyWise supplements, I saw a really, really science-based quality supplement program that we started on right away. And then, and I was 41 years old. So over the years, though, I added the shakes. Then it was called Future Perfect. And now, of course, the Alance. And even though, and the products, what has happened for me has been I have stayed the same weight from my 30s on. Now I'm retired, so I'm not in the gym teaching and coaching, but I do exercise every day. But I do know that now at 73 years of age, my BMI is the same as it was when I was 41 years old. So even with a slower metabolism. So I know that the products have been huge in Jim and my improvement in our health. And I'm always very impressed. You want to know my perspective. I'm always very impressed that BodyWise keeps current with the science. They change the products as the science changes and as the research emerges. And to me, as a university professor of health and wellness, that's very important to me, that we're not using the same bottles, the same formulations as we did, 30, 40 years ago. So, and now I'm really excited because this new ReShape program is absolutely state of the art. So I'm very, very pleased with what I'm seeing with what BodyWise has come out with.
Debbie, there's lots of reasons I wanted you on the call today, but we both built our business somewhat similarly using different tools at the time. Now we're going to introduce some new tools for people and some old tools, but the fundamentals, I've not exceeded athletics like you have, but I look at this as an athletic event as far as fundamentals. I was never that gifted athletically compared to some of my peers, but I was solid in my fundamentals, which at the end came out really well, worked out really well. And so there's some fundamentals and BodyWise in our business I'd like to chat with you about. One of them is TNT, and people go, well, what is that? We can explode something or what? No, take the product and talk to people. And I'm so glad that you had mentioned that you haven't changed your BMI since you were 30 years old. And here you are still a kid at 73, as far as I'm concerned, but that's a whole different conversation. But so we're kind of got a different perspective on this a little bit because I got on the ReShape system. I was part of the test group. And so for basically 2 months now, the month that I was on, and then the month after we got the product, I've been successful to enable myself to lose 21 pounds on this system. You, I doubt, needed to lose weight after you had your 2 children. Knowing you probably were out running a 10K a week after you had your Chris. I mean,
2 weeks. I did one too.
Okay. I'm sorry, I underestimated that. But it's perfect because so many people feel like they have to have, like my story, recently, right? I mean, I got started body wise that had nothing to do with weight loss. It was all about heart health for me. That's what attracted me. I didn't think this stuff was going to work anyway, but it did 35 years later, right? But the point is, we come at this and people need to understand from two different perspectives, because you have to tell other people's stories in weight loss because you don't have one per se, but you did start on the ReShape. And I want you to, if you wouldn't mind, share with us two things right now. Number one, the ReShape product itself, how has that affected you? That's number one. And number two, we use an acronym when we train people on how to do this business. And it's kind of a weird way to spell a word, and I'm sure you'll go into that. But would you mind just going through that acronym and then also sharing with everybody what you've experienced on the new ReShape product?
Well, I did not elect to be in the test group because I felt other people probably should do it. But I did start the ReShape about 3 weeks ago. And I've lost a few pounds, but most importantly, yeah, I have. But most importantly, I've noticed it's curbed my appetite somewhat. So I'm not wanting to eat as much as I would normally. I think my blood sugar is more stabilized as a result of that. I'm going through the day, I'm not like looking for something to eat. And my sweet cravings, I don't desire anything sweet. Now, I used to like sweets pretty well. So those things probably have contributed then to losing a few pounds. But you were talking about doing the business. You know, when I came into BodyWise, I initially was not driven by the business. I wanted these products and I wanted my family to be on the products, but I loved them so much, how they made me feel and what our health parameters were as a result of being on. So I wanted to talk to people about it. You talk about TNT, take the products and talk to people. So I did that. I just started talking to people. Now, I didn't hopefully become a pest, but I found ways to talk to people and tell other people's stories in terms of weight, but I could tell my own story in terms of athletic performance and my health and not being on medications and that kind of thing. So I just started talking to people. And what you were talking about, we have an acronym we call it Frisbee. FRISB. We don't add the E at the end. So I used Frisbee a lot. Frisbee means F, you strike up a friendly conversation with somebody. R, you relate it to BodyWise in some way. I, you detect if there's an interest from their conversation. And S means you share a story, either yours or Steve Hughes or a friend who's been on the program. And then B, exchange a business card, a postcard, a flyer, exchange information. Now, so F, friendly conversation. Easy to do wherever you go. We are verbal people. You go to a ball game, sitting in the bleachers, and you're talking to people. You're at the gym. People come to the door to do your landscaping. We have a hairdresser. You are in a chair with a hairdresser for a half hour. You have a lot of time to talk. Any kind of club, any kind of party you go to, you're talking to people. So what I do is I start out with a friendly conversation. I'll give you an example of one I did the other day. I was at Marshall's shopping. So we're standing in line, there's a long line, and I had some clothes in my arm. And so I started a friendly conversation with the women in front and behind me. And I said, man, this line is really long today, and a lot of shopping today. And, they're nodding, saying yes. And I said, it's so fun. I'm getting to buy new clothes because I've lost weight. Well, heads turned. And of course, so then there's the interest. Heads turned, and someone said, well, how'd you do that? Bingo. There you relate it to BodyWise and talk about the program, and you share a story and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, again, you don't want to be a pest. And if they say, well, that's great, good for you, and go on, I'm not going to say, hey, wait, come back here, talk to me. No. You don't want to be the person that avoids you. You're avoiding in a party because, oh, she's going to talk about that body wise again. But I have found, even when people have said no to me, I've had very good friends, family members say, no, I don't want to be on that program. Good for you. And then months later, and even years later, come back and say, you know what? You and Jim look great. Are you still doing that BodyWise program? Yes. Bingo. I got some new people started on the product. So no sometimes means a yes later. But you have to be a walking billboard. You have to talk about the products. And I think with the new ReShape system, Steve, you've got to be somewhat sensitive too. I mean, I don't want to go around saying, my God, look at all you fat people here, get on our I don't want to be a fat shamer. But there are a lot of people that are interested in losing weight. And our program is state of the art. It's not any of those injectables that you have to inject in your abdomen and have all the side effects and there's horrible things happening with that. You know that. Muscle loss, nausea, vomiting, all kinds of things. And when they go off of it, they gain weight. And like Bill said, it costs over $1,000 a month.
You're right, Deb. And it's I always tell people, facts tell, but stories sell. And that's really, people want to know what you're doing. And a lot of times I just ask for referrals. If I've got somebody that I'm having a chat with, I'll just ask them, do you know anybody? And clearly the individual in front of you, in my mind, like the other day on the elliptical, actually it was yesterday, there's clearly a guy next to me, 3 feet away. We always talk about the 3-foot rule. Well, he was huffing and puffing on the elliptical. I'd finished lifting. We came in to do a few miles, and before I left, and I know the guy, and so we were chatting about Orange County. Actually, he'd spent 2 months down there, and blah blah blah. And I said, yeah. We were talking about one of your articles. It was, and he says, what do you do? I says, well, I'm on this new program that the company I've been with forever started. Blah blah blah. I says, yeah, I've dumped like 21 pounds on this new system. He about fell off the elliptical. How do I do that? Real simple, and it went on from there. So it's just letting people know and asking. And I asked him, I said, do you know anybody that needs to lose a few pounds? I mean, there's a lot of times, and I just kind of segues into our next topic, overcoming objections. Now, we could do overcoming objections for about 2 hours on this call and just maybe scratch the surface. But what I want to do is address the number one, the elephant in the room for most people, and they want to know this. And so what you do is you make sure and bring that up right away. How much does it cost, right? I mean, cost is an issue for everybody, especially if you look around. I don't care what Washington says. People are struggling out here. They're watching their dollars. Just go to the grocery store sometime. Up here in the boondocks where I'm at, it's not any better in Oregon where my son lives. So what will you suggest to people as far as overcoming that objection of cost?
Very, very easy. That's usually the first question I get. Well, what does this cost? And I say, that's the best part. The weight management kit costs about $4 a day. Now, and there's a meal, a replacement in that. Where can you go get a meal for $4? I bet you spend $4 on a Starbucks latte every day. $4 to lose weight. Or if they just want to do ReShape, $2 a day. Are you worth $2 a day to lose weight? AM PMs, my gracious, the vitamins, $1.60 a day. So I say that's the best part. It's very inexpensive in terms of your health results that you will get.
Yeah, and a lot of these supplements and stuff are bedpan pills anyway, or they give you a Malwong or Guarana. They're going to speed you up, which if you have any kind of a cardiovascular issue, that's an issue. With the science, and by the way, the more options you give people, the big choices. I mean, I don't want to determine how people do this business. It's your business. You can do whatever you want to do, however you're comfortable doing it. We can make suggestions of what's worked in the past, but old school flyers and postcards, flyers and postcards, put a flyer up in the gym. Well, John Paul has made available to us for $2 for 25, either postcards and $2 for 25 flyers that have a box on there that has your contact information on it. You can put up, you can carry with you and give it to somebody specifically on the weight management or ReShape system. The flyers are item number 651 and the postcards are item number 650. For $2 for 25 of either one of those, I mean, I can't imagine not having those personally. Now, if you want the electronic version of it, I guess is the best way to put it, you go to wellness@bodywise.com. That's wellness@bodywise.com. Tools, one of them is I think, very underutilized, which is bodywiseinfo.com. When you put that in and you land on that page, you will be in the immune category. And then what Dr. Cynthia Brown and David Bergsma and et cetera. And then to the right of that, above and to the right on the header, you'll find weight management. When you click up there, if you're a biochemist, one of these people that know every intricate and every molecule, Carl gives a presentation that is like taking a drink out of a fire hose. He's amazing. There's a lot of people smarter than me, but anyway, that's available up there. And Dr. Jocks does a fabulous job of talking about the ReShape product and breaks it down. And by the way, the flyer has the breakdown also of what's in the ReShape formula and what it's used for and what it does. So your comment earlier, Debbie, about blood sugar, when you look at the nutrients that are in there, we can't make medical claims, but my goodness, if you just read what's in it, it's not a surprise that our blood sugar, and I think that's a big deal. How about your own website? I don't know. Most of our distributors don't even realize they get a free website to use, to develop and use that from a marketing standpoint. So what have you used? What is your primary source, or you just shop around and when you're building your business and when you're telling people about BodyWise, what tools do you use, Deb?
Well, 32 years ago, I didn't have the internet.
Yes.
I typed up a letter and sent it to 100 of my friends talking about BodyWise, and then had a flyer in there, and then I would call and follow up. Now you can send them to the BodyWise website, and they can learn everything about everything, ingredient lists and all kinds of things. And one thing I didn't mention when you said the number one objection, when I said the best part is, another part is they can get the products for free. And they go, free? I said, well, you share them with some other people. We have a business opportunity here too. Now, some people shy away from that. That's okay. But I didn't shy away because I thought, we're two teachers. We didn't have much money. I would like to get my BodyWise products for free. So that was my first goal, was to share it with enough people to get a rebate check to get our products for free. But back to the what John Paul and all the people BodyWise have provided, there are tons of resources to use now, thanks to the internet.
Absolutely. And John Paul, one of the things I didn't mention, because it's more in your wheelhouse than mine or Debbie's, we're still putting posters up. There's something called Facebook. Would you mind just giving us a quick overview of Facebook and marketing that way? Because social media is what it is. I mean, it's out there. We need to use it.
I think a lot of folks on here probably have a Facebook page that they use to connect with family and friends. And I just want to make you aware that it also can be a valuable tool to grow your BodyWise business. Now, the first thing I want to say may surprise you, and that is, don't simply repost the Facebook postcards and things you see us send out in emails where we have the price in big letters and sale 15% off. You want it to be organic and to grow out of you and your natural interactions with folks. And so instead of doing that, I would suggest perhaps a photo of a nice Elan-say shake you make, and or are you drinking the shake and saying, this is how I start my day. The right choice, AM and PM beside you, and saying, gee, I feel great today. People will pick up on this, and then they'll start asking you and want to be part of your feeling good and feeling great, and wonder how they can feel like that more often. You can share recipes easily on Facebook. We're going to be posting more. You can copy some of the content on the BodyWise Facebook page and share it on your Facebook page. I would also say there are 9 dots on the top right-hand side of your Facebook page that can really be helpful in building a business to you. If you click on those 9 dots, you'll see a menu. One of the items on the menu is events. And so I suggest when you see a notice for a BodyWise call, that, such as today, or a featured speaker like Dr. Jacques on another topic, you create an event so that people know the event's going to be held. Share the link we send out in the email so they can join us through Facebook and view the event with you. The other thing you'll find under the 9 dots is something called groups. It's another category. Now you find both national groups and local groups, which are broken down by points of interest. So you might find a runners group in St. Augustine, Florida, for example, that you'll want to join. You can sign up over Facebook. You'll find other topics, perhaps vegans, people interested in other sports, people interested in losing weight or staying healthy, other subcategories. Join those groups, get known in those groups, drip on those groups, let them allow them to see you, see an occasional comment about BodyWise. People may notice you in the group and connect and link up to your page, see what you're posting, and they'll pick up on BodyWise that way. So a few easy things you can do, and it really helps get the word out there and gets outside. Perhaps like Steve and Debbie, you've been in BodyWise a long time. You feel like you've talked to most of the people you know already about BodyWise. You want to reach out to new people and new leads. And so Facebook gives you a great opportunity to do that.
Well, as Bill initiated the call, we have a huge weight problem in our country, and it's driving up the cost of healthcare. It's driving up the costs of medicines, and we have something here that can serve a lot of people without being an injectable medicine from a doctor that has tons of side effects. So the need is huge. That's not meant to be the way I worded it, but it is a huge need. And we have something we can offer to people. So I'm excited about it because there are a lot of people that are literally desperate. They're desperate to go to doctors and get these injectables. Anyway, we have a lot we can share with a lot of people.
And you had mentioned, when someone has a concern about how much things cost, we have a mechanism in place. They can get their product for free, maybe make a house payment, car payment, whatever. Debbie, you and I were attracted to BodyWise I wasn't looking for something to do. I was looking for something for my health at the time. I mean, I sat in the back of the room with my arms folded, not believing anything was coming out of the guy's mouth. But what did impress me is Erling was talking about the product and results. And it was like, okay, and there was 100% money back guarantee. I said, hey, but the stuff worked. And unless the lab that I went to 90 days later was lying and was in cahoots with them, it really worked through lab work. And I went, okay. And so how do you not ethically and morally talk to people about that? But we have an opportunity to reduce some stress in people's lives financially.
Yes.
And I think that with this compensation plan, we don't talk about it nearly enough. Is loaded on the front end of the plan. And so for brand new people to get their product paid for, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot of effort at all and a lot of volume for them because it's very, very, very generous. We reward the people that are talking to people. significantly. And it's been my experience when people have been looking at two companies, and I said, well, just run X amount of volume down the compensation plan. You tell me, I'll tell you what the check will be, and then you tell me what it'll be with this other company.
And you don't have to spend a lot of time. I mean,
No.
I'm working full time and doing the BodyWise business. So you can take minutes a day or minutes a week and just do what we talked about. Take the products and talk to people. Open your mouths and talk about it.
Well, I was doing 2 or 3 hours a day, and I had a job most people would love to have, and I eclipsed that income in about 3 years. Totally part-time, had 2 kids doing everything you could think of. I worked 16-hour shifts 3 days a week. I mean, I was grinding it out, and BodyWise, thankfully, changed all that, and I was smart enough somehow to figure out that this was a lot better than, manual labor, as they say. So Debbie brings up a great point that we have a mechanism in place to have your product for free. And if that's all you did, that's great. And if you want to make $1 million like Debbie, you may have to take a little bit longer, but you're helping people. It's a heck of a side effect, and you sleep really well at night knowing you're not giving them some garbage. So that's what that certificate of quality is all about, and that's what I use 90% of the time, is that certificate of quality. It's a great tool.
I'm just saying, I'm just as good as Steve. I've lost 21 pounds.
Ooh.
And I'm a lot, smaller than him, but still have more to go. But I was grateful for BodyWise when they had it in the 90s with the ReShape, because that's how I was introduced to the vitamins. And I'm still here and really grateful for the new formula. And it's been kind of, I call it simple or easy, because they say you should reduce by 500 calories a day to lose a pound a week. And it's like it's on cruise control. I seem to just stop eating when it's about where I should. I don't have to grip the steering wheel and try and stop eating. It just happens.
Linda, it's Bill Farley. Do you are people saying to you, Linda, what's going on? How did this happen?
Well, yeah, I'm in real estate, so I've had a hard time always talking to my real estate clients about BodyWise because they want a full-time realtor. But I don't have a problem now. I tell them I'm interested in the home and the health, because it makes for a happy home. And I made up cute little business cards where I put lost 10 pounds and I cross it out now. It says 21. So I gave it out to another realtor the other day. It's just been so much easier because they know me and they see the difference, and they don't believe I was ever that much heavier, but I measured myself and I'm losing it a little bit everywhere, which is a good thing. And 3 inches around my waist. So that's even a better thing.
No, I'm excited about this product. I appreciate you guys coming on and telling us about the results you're getting and how you talk to other people about it. I think it's one of the most important products that we've introduced in years. It's the latest technology. I think you pointed that out, Steve. It's the latest technology. And it was also pointed out, it's not $1,000 a month. In fact, if you're taking up and selling the product, you get free product, is the way it turns out. And then some nice additional income, for what, $50, $60 a month. I mean, it's a great product. And of course you can do the kit, which also include, as was pointed out, it's a meal. I mean, and we do that every day. I mean, I have lemon and water in the morning. That's about it. And then my lunch is essentially the shake, the Elance shake with some fruit added. And I don't have a weight issue, but again, I work on it. But this product is amazing, and I'm encouraging everyone to use it and sell it and help others. I mean, they need to hear about this. They can't afford $1,000 a month for Mounjaro or Ozempic. I mean, come on, get real. So be helpful to others and introduce them to BodyWise ReShape and the BodyWise kit, health kit. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining us.
This is Linda Hartman.